They all watched at once. Then again. And each time, the unease only grew. The clip was short, barely 35 seconds, but something about it lingered in the minds of millions. It was Menglong's last public appearance, the moment that would unknowingly mark the beginning of the most intense scrutiny of his career and, ultimately, his life. At first glance, it looked ordinary. A casual appearance at a fan event. A soft smile, a wave, laughter echoing through the venue. Nothing unusual. But something was off. People who watched closely began noticing tiny inconsistencies. A hand tremor, subtle yet unmistakable. A blink that seemed longer than it should be. And the way he kept glancing past the camera, almost as if he were aware of someone observing him from the edges of the crowd. Speculation exploded online almost immediately. The clip circulated on fan pages, Twitter threads, Weibo discussions, and private chat groups. The comments shared a growing pattern. Why is he looking behind him like that? Something's wrong with his left hand. Did anyone else notice he's wearing the same bracelet upside down? Conspiracy theories took hold, each more elaborate than the last. Some claimed the clip showed the signs of a warning, subtle but intentional. Others argued it captured the effects of exhaustion, overwork, or stress. And a few voices whispered something even darker. He knew something. Inside the industry, murmurs began circulating almost simultaneously. A handful of journalists and insiders noted that the clip coincided with one of Menglong's last scheduled meetings with his agency. The meeting had been described publicly as routine, yet confidential sources hinted it was anything but. Behind closed doors, tensions had reportedly been rising for weeks. Creative disagreements, disputes over contracts, and perhaps most importantly, whispers of internal investigations into practices that Menglong had begun to question. If these rumors were true, then the significance of the clip changed entirely. It was no longer just a fan event. It could have been a silent cry for attention, an unintentional reveal, or perhaps even a warning. Forensic video analysts were quickly drawn to the clip. They examined frame by frame, looking for anomalies. One of the first findings was subtle but revealing. At exactly 14 seconds, the camera's focus shifted slightly, catching something behind you that most viewers missed. A shadowed figure, indistinct, almost blending with the crowd, appeared at the very edge of the frame. The figure moved in tandem with Yu's glances, staying just out of focus but present enough to trigger alarm. Online, this discovery sent viewers into a frenzy. Screenshots circulated. Fan theories multiplied exponentially. The same question kept emerging across platforms. Who was that? Technical specialists dug deeper. They noticed that the lighting in the clip was slightly inconsistent. Some theorized it was simply a camera artifact. Others believed it was deliberate, an intentional method to mask someone's presence while capturing their actions. The analysis didn't end there. Attention shifted to Yu himself. His facial expressions, previously dismissed as standard fan event joy, began to show subtle signs of tension. Micro-expressions, almost imperceptible in real time, suggested stress, concern, even fear. It was enough to make professionals in the field of behavioral analysis pause. They concluded that, based on Yu's expressions and body language, something unusual had occurred just before or during that moment. Something he could not reveal, but that left its mark on his demeanor. Fans began piecing together timelines. The last public event. The following day's interviews. The private messages that had leaked to some fan accounts. Every fragment seemed to hint at one possibility. Menglong was aware of a situation bigger than himself. A situation he couldn't fully disclose. A situation that may have put him in danger. And this clip, now dissected endlessly, was the first and perhaps only visual confirmation of his unease. The discussions weren't confined to fan forums. Media outlets began to cover the phenomenon cautiously. Articles described the clip as mysterious and enigmatic. Some journalists implied that it hinted at previously unreported pressures Yu faced in the entertainment industry. Several anonymous sources claimed that Yu had confided in close friends about discrepancies he noticed within his company. Payments, contracts, scheduling inconsistencies, and unaccounted for funds were among the issues reportedly flagged by him. Whether these claims were verified or not remained unconfirmed. But the clip seemed to provide visual support for a growing suspicion. Yu's unease was real and visible. Digital investigators also pointed out one of the most unnerving details. At exactly 27 seconds, Yu's gaze shifted again. This time, it wasn't toward the shadowed figure or the crowd. He looked directly past the camera, toward the area just beyond the frame. A fleeting movement followed, almost imperceptible, yet enough to spark debate among analysts. Was he signaling to someone? Was he acknowledging the presence of another party? Or was it simply coincidence? No one knew. The online community exploded with speculation. Screenshots were magnified. Slow-motion videos were shared endlessly. Voiceovers analyzed tone, pitch, and inflection. The hashtag Menglong last clip trended across multiple platforms, driving the discussion into every corner of social media. A single question dominated all conversations. What was he looking at? Theories ranged wildly. Some claimed he had discovered corruption within his agency. Others believed he was aware of a personal threat, someone monitoring him in secrecy. And a vocal minority argued that it was all coincidence, that viewers were projecting meaning onto a normal clip. Despite the controversy, no official statement was issued regarding the clip. The company released only a short message. Menglong's public appearances are documented. We ask the public to respect privacy and avoid speculation. No mention of anomalies. No explanation for the shadowed figure. No acknowledgement of the unsettling micro-expressions. Silence, intentional or otherwise, only fueled the intrigue. Soon, insiders began to leak small details that seemed to corroborate some of the theories. One former staff member claimed that the week of Yu's last appearance had been unusually tense. Confidential meetings, repeated cancellations, and unexpected arrivals by senior executives created an atmosphere of uncertainty. Yu reportedly asked questions that were ignored or brushed aside. He appeared anxious, according to the source, and occasionally looked around nervously. The description matched exactly what analysts had seen in the clip. As speculation intensified, a deeper investigation of Yu's social media accounts was initiated by fans. Posts, comments, and stories from his last 2 weeks were examined for hidden meaning. Small inconsistencies were noted. Cryptic captions, timestamps that didn't match normal posting patterns, and photos of hallways or corners of buildings that seemed unusual. Many argued these were deliberate signals, subtle hints of the unease Yu felt or the pressure he was under.